Now, something I think is going to be pretty interesting to watch early in the race is how high can they move up in turns 1 and 2 and in 3 and 4, but really down at 1 and 2. These cars are going to be tiptoeing through turns 1 and 2 as the cars are going to be right on each other's door. It can get pretty sketchy in the first corner here, Ross.
Call me a catfish. I'm hunting that white line, Adam.
Jesse Love qualifies on the pole. He'll be the control car at the start, takes the inside lane. Saddle up and ride. We are green at Texas.
Great start for Jesse Love there. The restart zone is exactly that. The start can be anywhere in the zone these days in NASCAR. He went early, clear into turn 1.
When he said go to the bottom, didn't you? Cole Custard went straight to the bottom and gave Chandler Smith the outside, which he was able to clear Cole down the back straightaway.
Everybody filing in line here into turn 3. Only Justin Allgaier tiptoeing up there, but he's losing ground, getting to the bottom like we talked about. Might have a little 3 wide action here, almost.
Allgaier driving down low inside of Taylor Gray. That black and yellow number 19 from Joe Gibbs Racing.
You see them all, just bottom. One lone ranger up top there. Taylor Gray, you
big save, still wrecking. Come on, he's saved.
How did he hang on to that?
Oh my goodness, that was an awesome save.
He's still about sideways 3 or 4 times right there.
He is still so loose. Taylor Gray is in that 19.
It may take him 3 or 4 laps to regain a little confidence and change his underwear after that one.
Meanwhile, his teammates going for the lead. Here's Chandler Smith, 81 on point early at Texas.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of speed out of Jesse Love in qualifying. Obviously at the drafting style tracks, as we take a look back at how Chandler Smith was able to drive right up to the rear bumper of Jesse, get him loose as well. Wow, that's what I love about these Xfinity cars, Joey.
Yeah, and that's what kind of happened. As we see our replay here, look at the 19, a little bit high off of turn 2, just gets loose. And back and forth, look at the front wheels, left, right, catching it back and forth. This would be a fun view from A.J. Allmendinger.
That's a crash. That's also a crash.
Oh, man, he was...
And somehow, he stayed inside the top 10. Taylor Gray now being scored 8th, just in front of Brandon Jones.
Well, I think everyone lifted behind him because they were pretty certain he was going to wreck.
Absolutely. As we look out the front of Cole Custard's front roof camera, Andy's Frozen Custard. First race with Cole, great ambassador for them, by the way. I know he loves it. He loves it personally. It's a natural fit for him as we see that 81 lead just a few car lengths in front of him.
You mentioned the 81. He's one of those drivers highlighted in purple in our pylon. Those are the 4 drivers going for the dash for cash today. You don't have to win the race, just finish in front of the other 3, and you pick up $100,000 at the end of the afternoon.
One thing, Joey, as we go inside Chandler Smith's car, I see his head move around left to right a lot. Me, personally, I lean it into the right side. My entire right side of my seat, from my toes to my ears, is all one line, and it's comfortable for me. He's got his head off the padding. How do you do it?
Yeah, every driver's a little bit different. I like my head kind of wedged up into the headrest where I can't move really either way. Just from a safety standpoint, I always feel like that is best, or at least that's what they tell us from the data, is you want to get in there as best you can. So I like my eggs not to be scrambled at the end of these races.
Just over medium?
Yeah, it might be poached a little bit, but
I'm an over easy guy. So.
Okay.
Good battle for 15th. Sheldon Creed in the 18. High expectations for him coming to the weekend. Same for Parker Kligerman, who was there in the 48.
Something I see right there in 3rd place, Justin Allgaier. Pretty strong start. He was able to pass a few cars. Now he's kind of stuck right now where he's at. I think he has a car that is actually right now better than the 00 of Cole Custard. A little bit stuck in dirty air. You see him flirting with moving up a lane in 1 and 2 last lap. I don't know if it's quite in yet, but look for Justin to be one of the first ones to move up when it's available.
Yeah, as we look back at where they started, Chandler started 4th, Justin 6th. Both of them moving forward. I don't have a great memory. I don't remember where they were lap 1 or lap 3, but those teams will be looking at that to try to make a choice for the choose cone later.
I know there were a lot of teams that I talked to in the garage this morning that qualified in an odd numbered position, which means they rolled off on the inside. They were all quite thankful for that at the end of qualifying to begin this race. But as you said, something is this track changes that could evolve and be a little bit different later in the race than it was earlier on that initial start.
And right now for Jesse Love, you look right in front of Riley Herbst. He's not real fast at the moment, and he's trying to play defense. His key move right now is to put that car on the white line. If he gives Riley just a little bit of air, it's going to allow Riley to get right up to his back bumper. You look how loose that car is, the number 2 of Jesse Love. If he lets Riley get close to him, he's going to take more air off that spoiler, make it even looser, and be very hard to drive.
10 laps in at Texas. We haven't had a caution, but we almost had a big crash. Save of the day, save of the year. Taylor Gray hanging on to it off of turn 2. Back at Texas, we are under caution for the first time. Young driver Daniel Dye had the 10 car get away from him, making his second start of 2024. Here's what happened.
Yeah, just a little bit off the white line. Teammate Josh Williams really tucked up tight behind him. That air is going to affect that. You know, Josh is hunting the bottom. I'm not going to say that he did it on purpose. Obviously, both driving for Matt Collig, but enough to upset that 10 car.
Yeah, once you start going there, you're along for the ride. It's how you pass here, especially early in the race when it's kind of one groove right now. We talked about if you give that line up, right, you give a little bit of air to that trailing car, it's going to allow them to pack air on you and get even looser. We were talking about that right before commercial.
As a guy that grew up with Josh Williams, I'd like to hear what he said on the radio.
Let's go there now. Here's Team 11 radio.
Yeah, I never touched him. I guess I just put air on him. I didn't think he hit him. I don't think he hit anything. I think we'll be okay.
He didn't put air on him. He took air off of him.
Yeah. As a guy that grew up with Josh, we've put the bumper to each other a lot. That one wasn't it, just some air.
They were racing for 21st. We're 13 laps in at Texas under caution. You're watching the Andy's Frozen Custard 300. Cole met the folks from Andy's at the banquet last year in Nashville. I think this sponsorship is a match made in heaven.
It is. I'm just waiting for ours up here.
Yeah, it's a little warm in here. Cole's cup looked not quite full. I think he was snacking on it during that shoot.
He was.
Yeah, for sure.
He
Got to live the
not
brand.
resist.
You have to live the brand. I mean, we know that, Joey.
Some Logano fans in the crowd. We'll find some Chastain fans too. Restart as we complete lap 16. Chandler Smith takes the inside lane.
Yeah, inside lane, both restarts, has had a good launch. But Justin Allgaier just barely hanging on his right rear quarter. Going to try to stay there off of 2. It's going to be close. He stayed there.
This is our Toyota onboard camera. Allgaier hanging strong into 3.
Big commitment from these guys right here. Justin Allgaier, he's done this a lot. He knows how good this clean air would be if he could tie this lap together and get clear of the 81.
And right behind there, Cole Custard. He's wondering, what lane do I pick? Which way do I go? Right now, a safe route is the bottom. It looks like he's going to maybe be able to pull underneath Justin. Nope.
These guys, even racing side by side like that, have been able to distance themselves from 4th, where Ryan Truex and Riley Herbst are still side by side.
Moving early, Ryan Truex qualified in the 7th position. He's now inside the top 5, running 4th as he dives below Riley Herbst, and gives some love to Ryan Sieg. He was top 10 earlier this year on the 1.5 mile at Las Vegas. Been strong all weekend here at Texas Motor Speedway in at 39.
You know, when Ross talks about the commitment, I think that's quite the understatement of what you have to do to get through 3 and 4, especially early in the race. You talk about getting up a little bit too high. You get up a little bit too high here at Texas, it's ice. There is no grip at all. It's a lot of dust. It's very dirty, and your car will take off. And to go side by side through there that early in the race takes a lot of guts to pull that one off.
Custer 3rd right now, Josh.
Yeah, for Cole Custer, he said that car fired off just a tick free. It was good on the short run, but he said the long run, that's his biggest concern. Just losing too much grip. He's fighting it a little too much. The team radio back and told him, hey, a lot of people are fighting the same thing. We'll get you adjusted during that first stop, but you're going to have to hang on for now. Regan?
Well, Josh Cole's teammate Riley Herbst okay right now at the start of the race, running in 5th place. The bigger concern for him, though, is it's warm out today in a long race. The cool shirt that he is wearing is not working right now. Ross and Joey, I know you guys have experience with those cool shirts. They're great when they work. When they don't work, it almost boils you inside that car, doesn't it?
It's not a fun experience when it doesn't work. I can promise you that. The good news is it's a fairly short race, only 200 laps. Thank goodness they moved this race from where it was last year when it was 100 degrees out. But not going to be an enjoyable experience for Riley today.
Yeah, you know, Riley's a guy, he puts the work in, though. Trainer Ryan up at Stenhouse's gym there in Mooresville. I don't go there, but I hear about Riley and the work he puts in. He eats right, he shows up, and, you know, physically, he should be able to get through this, even if it is hot. These Xfinity cars are warmer, I would say, of the 3, the warmest of the 3. Now, I haven't driven them with the slots in the rear glass like Chandler mentioned before the race when we were talking to him on the radio, but that's got to help, obviously. It helped the Cup cars a lot. And if all else fails, you can cut the hose. They can pass you something in to cut it in a dire circumstance, but it shouldn't get that way today for him.
Great racing back in the pack. Keep an eye on the 31. Parker Retzloff dropped to the rear with power steering issues, but he's starting to make some advances up inside the top 25. Justin Allgaier 2nd right now, just behind Chandler Smith on track.
The amount of available grip that 81 has is unfreaking believable. Aero-wise, it's stupid. Like, it's unbelievable. He can enter the corner 5 to 8 car lengths deeper than I can.
Well, as he says all that, he's pressuring him. So
I love that. He's in the air. Keeping up with the car, he says, is incredible.
I would look at this moment right now, and I'd say if the 7 gets out front, look out. He's going to be gone. That might just be a typical driver play where your car's never good enough, and you're always looking at other things. As we see A.J. Allmendinger working underneath Jesse Love. You know, Jesse was definitely loose, and he's going to make him a little looser right there coming off the corner. He is just waiting for a pit stop, and I know that caution came out, and you know, you're thinking if you're Jesse Love in the 2, why don't you pit? You can't. It's just too early. He's going to give up too much track position, so he's got to just try to weather the storm until he gets to the end of the stage.
Allmendinger goes through. Sam Mayer is there into one, coming off his best run of 2024. Delivered a second-place finish last Saturday night at Martinsville. One of those drivers going for the dash for cash is Mayer. I will say this, though, about Jesse Love. I know starts on the pole has gone in the wrong direction right now, 11th, and we've talked about their race car. He had never seen this place before yesterday. And we talked off the top how difficult it is. So you put all of that in perspective, and when you look at what he's done the last 4 or 5 weeks, they always seem to finish better than they run. The door is open for it again, but he's got to be patient, as you guys said, because Sheldon Creed now driving by on the inside.
And part of that is being a rookie, right? I mean, you don't know what you don't know sometimes. What do I need to do to get my car handling well in the race? Feels good in practice. What do I need in the race, though? I don't know. I've never raced here before in an Xfinity car. How would you know? So part of that is just learning, and then they'll tune on that car.
Regan, what do you have on the 2 car?
Well, Joey, that's exactly right, and he is fighting that car right now in terms of the handling. Very loose in for Jesse Love right now, but tight in the middle. As you guys know, that's something a lot of guys fight when they come here to Texas, and the more cars that get on his bumper, the worse that's getting for him right now.
And that's not fun. Loose in here is not fun. You think turn 1's going to be the worst. Pretty flat. You're having to slow down as we Justin Allgaier playing with his second lane. It's going to have a run here outside of the 81.
Number 7 flashing by on the outside. There goes Justin Allgaier. Forget about it. New leader in Texas. It's the veteran from Illinois who swept the stages here a season ago, and now he's got that clean air.
Sure looked to me like he had a lot of grip there, Ross.
Pretty incredible car, if you ask me, Joey.
Let's go to the radio now.
Let's ask the 81.
Shaking his head.
Let's ask the 81. Now he's going to talk about the 7 and how incredible it is.
And both those drivers up for the dash for cash, that extra $100,000. For Allgaier, it'd be the 6th time he had won it. That's a $600,000 payout over time. That's pretty good. Allgaier leads Smith, Custard, Truex, and Herbst. Good racing all around Texas Motor Speedway, but no challenge out front. Justin Allgaier drove by Chandler Smith on the outside, 27 laps in, and he's now stretched his advantage to nearly 2 seconds. You look at Justin Allgaier, and he's finished top 10 here at Texas Motor Speedway on 14 different occasions. And if he finishes top 10 here today, he will match Kyle Busch for most top 10s all time in the history of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. That is an impressive number. One of the tremendous veterans racing on Saturday is Allgaier. He's won 23 times. If he gets a 24th, that would match the boss man, Dale Jr., for career victories. But he's been special and has never been able to get the trophy here at Texas. Been close on many occasions.
Well, he's looking pretty solid today to do a lot more than a top 10.
Yep.
That car is dialed in, able to set the pace, almost 2 seconds out up front.
You know, when I look at him, I look at the team he's with. Obviously, a lot of wins, championships over the years. He's been there in the fight for it. But the steady factor has been him for the better part of my career. Regan Smith, our analyst on pit road, was that guy before I raced with Regan. I feel a little old now that I'm saying that. Now I've raced with Justin a lot in that 7 car. And you just see Justin go through the transitions of the updates with Xfinity cars, different crew chiefs, different competition directors that Kelly and Dale put in place, LW, that they are, as they continue to grow their team, Justin is that steady force with Brandt on the car that you see continue to show up year after year and have this speed, even if he does complain about other cars that he's faster than.
I tell you, hear these guys pedaling it quite a bit. These guys are about a second and a half or so slower than what their fastest lap was, 38 laps into a run. So they're definitely feeling tire fall off there. You see the cars moving up the racetrack, searching for grip, looking for speed that way. That's all good signs for racing.
Our forward performance onboard camera gives us a good look at Austin Hill, who has worked his way up to 6th and trying to bounce back from disappointment last week at Martinsville. And now we go on board with Jeb Burton. This is the State Water Heaters onboard camera, and he's been good here today. 13th for the Virginia native and looking for more.
Yeah, it's so cool to see State Water Heaters on that car with Jeb, longtime partner of his, and somebody that he's really been able to build a career around. They were with his dad, Ward, for so long. They've kept it in the Burton family. And as Jeb is racing with these cars, look, 2 JGR cars either side of him, just past the Junior Motorsports car. Jeb's one that'll get fired up. He wants to succeed. He works hard at this. Lives at home. Travels over to the shop in the simulator. I see him in and out of the Chevy simulator when they have time. And as a guy like me that came in about the same time, I get mistaken for Jeb every now and then. I think it's just the beard. But you see him racing around these cars, and you see his car go across the bump as they're running the second lane in 24. So much better than that 18. He's able to get position inside of him.
He's able to get position. It's still not going to be an easy pass, as the top lane does seem to be preferred at this point, this late into a run with 5 laps to go. Look at the line of cars on the outside. So a little risk making this move.
If he doesn't get this done and get back in line, that 19 is a big slide off at 2. We'll see if the 19 has a run as we pan over. 19's inside of him.
Momentum means everything. Taylor Gray had the early drift, but he's rallied. Was outside the top 15, trying to work his way back toward the top 10. As we close on the end of stage 1, only 4 to go. Allgaier 2.6 seconds in front of Chandler Smith. And the battle for 5th is on. Ryan Truex, Austin Hill, and now Brandon Jones enters the party.
You know, that racing is so much fun to watch because, you know, they're in line and you got to sit there and think about, okay, is this run I have big enough to actually clear them, or am I going to get stuck on the bottom like Jeb did and possibly lose a spot? You got to weigh all those things out, and sometimes it's so inviting to go take that run, and sometimes it's just not good enough, and the risk isn't quite worth the reward. You got to think through all that stuff at 180 miles an hour.
Take the run. Take the run and
take the run every time. I know that.
Yeah,
I've raced around you enough to know you're taking it.
You think I studied for your whole career? I know we're similar in age. You were doing this for a decade before me. I watched you.
That's the problem. Everyone watched.
Allgaier working lap traffic. This is big as we head toward the end of the stage. Who's going to stay on the lead lap? Who might get the free pass after going 1 lap down? 2 to go And, you know, we've been hard on Junior Motorsports. They hadn't had a top 5 finish this season until last week. They put 3 in the top 5 at Martinsville. Allgaier wins the stage last week, in position to win a stage today and leading a ton of laps as Riley Herbst gets by his teammate.
Yeah, back to those JRM cars, too. That's not because they haven't been performing, right? Allgaier had the race won.
He did.
At Phoenix before he had a flat tire. There were 2 to go. You know, now you see him about to win this stage on the last lap here.
Mentioned earlier, swept the stages last year at Texas, and that was the second time he had done that. Got a stage victory last Saturday night at Martinsville. 7 cars got it in the win today. He leads 18 laps in the opening stage and wins a stage here at Texas for the 5th time in his career. Chandler Smith is second. Herbst hangs on to third. Brandon Jones gets up there inside the top 5. Same for Truex. Custard goes in the wrong direction late in the stage. Austin Hill gets points. Great job by Ryan Sieg to stay in the top 10. Allmendinger is 9th, and Parker Kligerman second here last year, 10th in stage 1. Justin Allgaier in charge here at Texas Motor Speedway. Stage 1 complete at Texas. Justin Allgaier wins that first 45-lap run. And now we take a look at our sweet move of the stage, sponsored by Andy's Frozen Custard. We didn't even need to vote on this one.
No, this one is, I hope it's not topped, because I don't know that you get that lucky twice in one race. But Taylor Gray, heck of a job. Didn't quit driving it. A.J. Allmendinger, best seat in the house. He was just aiming for the car, knowing it was going to go somewhere else at some point.
Best or worst seat in the house, I'm not sure, because I'm pretty sure he didn't know which way to go.
Let's go back to the end of the stage, because there was a lot of racing going on inside the top 10.
Yeah, you see the 00. He was holding this group up. The 98 ends up getting by him after this, but the 21 pushing the 20 through that first dogleg, Joey, that's tough.
Yeah, and that's coming to the end of the stage right there. The caution comes out right after that, and I think the 20 was like, well, where are you going? This is the end right here.
Here's 20 radio, Ryan Truex.
21's got my tires off on the straightaway. Simple. Get back focused here.
You know, and I think having Tyler Green on the roof, a guy that spotted for me before in different series, he's one that's on you right away. Hey, back to work. Do not worry about that. Calm down. And he does it so smoothly. Sometimes I struggled to hear him in what he was saying because he's just so quick to be like, get back to work. He gets you right back on pace, and he'll be able to keep Ryan in line.
His dad, Mark, spots, and his dad drove right here in the NASCAR Xfinity Series for many years, probably 20 years ago, but a lot of veteran leadership up on that spotter stand.
Well, big pit stop here, and you see the gap that the 7 has earned by lapping so many cars. That's going to take a little pressure off their pit crew.
Don't speed, right? I mean,
don't speed here. Don't screw this one up. You got a big advantage.
They're heading your way, Regan.
Adam's Justin Allgaier seemingly perfect through that first stage in the 7 car, but not overly happy with it right now. Told the team it's very free when it lands, gets extremely loose, back tire sliding, and then the front does not work through the middle. He wants help with that. In the 81 car, Chandler Smith, his car is very tight when he gets back to the throttle, especially when he moves up to the higher lane. Josh?
Story for the 21 of Austin Hills just being too tight. Said he's too tight to run the bottom like he wants to. Too tight in dirty air as well. But he said, I need track position to be able to run better the way I want for the 00 of Cole Custer. They're going to take some swings, air pressure, track bar, because he was plowing tight towards the end of that run.
Here's the race off pit road.
Yeah, gonna be actually won by not even showing on our chart. Corey Heim missed his pit box. He'll have to come back in and pit.
Yeah, there was a whole lot going on there for those drivers that made pit stops, so we'll reset the running order when we come back as we get ready for stage number 2. 45, now 49 laps in the books at Texas. Justin Allgaier's been strong early. Tonight on Fox, the United Football League kicks off the Week 3 action with a battle between the Memphis Showboats and the Birmingham Stallions. It all begins 7 Eastern on Fox. Spring just got stronger. We mentioned there was some chaos coming off of pit road. Justin Allgaier did win the race off. We didn't have him coming off there, but he is the race leader. A.J. Allmendinger was 9th at the end of stage 1. But listen what happened when he was coming into his pit stall.
Yeah, let's look here as we go to the replay. The turns it back to 39.
Right. You bad. You got to back up. Got to back up. Can you guys put a sign out or something?
Yeah, and it's always, the first stop's always the hardest, right? Because it's the first time you've seen your pit stall in person like that. You know, you may see it before the race or when you're riding around, but costly mistake that's going to take a long time to dig out of for sure, but plenty of laps to go here, 150 or so to go.
Corey Heim also missed his pit stall. He was 14th. He also got a speeding penalty. He will come from the back. Josh Bilicki, the free pass. Allgaier, the leader as we go green in stage 2.
Yeah, this will be a much different restart now that the top lane has been coming in. Riley Herbst able to hang tough on the outside until they get to the corner, and the 7 is gone.
Hey, you look at that, you know, sometimes the pace laps, Joey, dirt and debris, guys aren't up there scrubbing their tires, can just kind of float up there and have it a little dusty. Also, low tire pressure. These Xfinity cars move around a lot with the rear track bar, the rear truck arms, as we see Cole Custard get by his teammate clear in a second. It's hard enough right now with our Cup cars with low tire pressure. You think back to truck arms and all the movement in the back. Riley Herbst tiptoeing here a bit in that second lane.
Chandler Smith jumps up to 3rd. Mentioned Riley Herbst, who settles in front of Austin Hill, who's in the top 5. Sheldon Creed doing a nice job. He spent a lot of time outside the top 15 in stage 1. 18 is now 6th, and one of those drivers going for the dash for cash. They're all highlighted in purple in our pylon.
Yeah, a little bit further back, another big moment for Taylor Gray off of turn 4 that lap. Again, like we saw off turn 2 earlier, a lot of people behind him I feel like checked up to give him space as he saved it.
Let's get an update on A.J. Allmendinger, Josh.
Yeah, and you saw the frustration after that pit stop for A.J. Allmendinger, and this team talked about having or needing a smooth race. Well, what's more, not only complaining about that, A.J. Allmendinger complaining about allergies as well that have been bothering him during the day. So some frustration for A.J., not getting better. Hopefully that pit stop at least can help them out, though.
And a whole lot going on around him as we ride on board. This is the Celsius onboard look from A.J. Allmendinger. Inside of the 51 at Jeremy Clements.
You know, and AJ was just average before this mistake on pit road. So it's not like he's just going to drive through the field. He's back in 22nd position right now. It's going to take a long time to break back into the top 10.
Speaking of top 10, Jeb Burton is there. He's just outside the top 10, late stage 1, running 8th now. Make it 9th. Brandon Jones goes by on the outside as Truex and Hill continue side by side. These two just can't get away from each other.
Well, I think at this point neither one's going to let each other go as he gets loose. The 20 got loose underneath him there.
He didn't lose any time, Joey.
Didn't matter.
Austin Hill must have been lifting too. Ryan Truex driving that car through 3 and 4.
Listen to this duo.
Bumper. Clear, all clear. Good to slide, all clear. Take it. Half, in line. Right with you. Good, in line. Hit your marks, don't overdrive.
A little easier to get pushed down the backstretch, Joey. Combined with newer tires, he's able to drive away.
Yeah, a little straighter and be able to clear that. Here's another pass right behind him with Brandon Jones along with the 18 car of Sheldon Creed. We've seen that 9 make a couple passes here early in the run.
Qualified 11th yesterday, but has pushed his way up to 7th in the running order.
And I'm curious, you know, we just saw Austin Hill get passed by Ryan Truex. Curious to see. Austin's been doing this a long time with this team, with this car. Ryan, a lot, even more experienced, but more sporadic, not as many consistent starts. The last run, Austin Hill really turned on lap 15, 20 laps into the run. Curious to see if that happens again, if Andy Street and Mark Gutekunst, his engineer, can get that thing, make it live longer into the run.
Rookies running 14th and 15th. We've said so much about Jesse Love. Right behind him, Haley Deegan. And maybe we shouldn't be surprised. Her best run of the year came the last time we were on 1.5 miles at Las Vegas. And 1 year ago, right here at Texas, she was 6th in the Craftsman Truck Series race, as Chandler Smith dogs Cole Custer for 2nd on track.
And you got to think, how long are you going to follow him right in line before moving up? If you see the outside lane as an option, I know it's a little earlier in the run, only being 16 laps into the stage. It took, 28 laps before someone made a pass on the outside the first run, but the outside's been worked in already, and Cole's going for the defensive play of taking the top. So track is definitely much different than it was the first run.
And one thing can be tough is the speed is so much quicker now than it was at the end of that run. They're trying to reacclimate into that speed with these new tires.
It's a great day at Texas Motor Speedway for Justin Allgaier, who leads, and the fans who are having fun in the sun.
Do you think the drivers are annoyed by us?
So I found Carson Hocefar's big brother.
You used to having a reporter come up to you and have legit questions, not like what kind of flavor of bubble gum do you like?
I was asking you what was in your cup.
It's actually a lot more fun and very just different. I don't think it's better for sure.
The countdown is on. Drivers Only is making its return. Charlotte weekend, Memorial Day weekend, 12:30 Eastern time right here on FS1. We have a big announcement. This is like a press release on the air. Joey Logano is going to move into the play-by-play role this year.
Yes, and I've known this for a few weeks, and as I've been up here, Adam, I've been just watching and listening on how you bring it back from commercial and you do all your stuff. Your part. You have the hardest job up here of all of us, by the way. So I've been paying attention, and I just trying to do better than Kevin did up there the last few years. That's my goal. Is can I just be comparable to where Kevin is.
I want you to ease into this, so why don't the two of you take the ball? I'll just sit over here, watch, and listen. A little drivers only from Texas.
All right, well, let's give this a shot, Ross, right here. Wait, again, Cole Custard with the 81. These guys have been racing. Cole has been playing defense, Ross, since the beginning of this run. I think he knows if he loses his track position, look at the line of cars behind him. He's just going to get in that dirty air and fall back a lot. With 21 laps to go, he needs to keep racing hard.
He is. Cole's a guy. He runs his wheel a little different. Even if you just look at how he runs his steering wheel in the car, the spoke is straight up. He's got a different seat position than I see a lot of other drivers. He is driving this car, and he's doing a good job. He's running second, but he's got to give JT another shot to work on it next pit stop here in 20 laps.
Ricky, got an update on the 7?
Well, Joey, the leader of Justin Allgaier right now, just told on the radio by his spotter, Eddie DeHaan, you have a little piece of debris on the grill. Keep an eye on the temperatures. The report from him back to the team is that the temperatures have been creeping up. They're plus 20 right now. The engine tuner standing right next to his crew chief, Jim Pullman. No concern yet. And also keep an eye on the 20 car of Ryan Truex. He also has red numbers on the gauges right now. Some debris floating around on the track.
Yeah, and for Justin Allgaier as a leader, really hard to get that debris off. But he does have clean air, which cools the engine a little bit better. So it might actually be making more downforce for him, Ross, which he might actually like, as long as it doesn't get too hot.
Yeah, and for their Hendrick engines, they have numbers. They know what plus 20 means. None of us know what that means, but he does. Jim Pullman, a guy that I've worked with, and super even keel. It's really nice to have that calm voice as we go on board here with Riley Herbst. You see this throttle down the backstretch, 100%. Let's see how much he lifts. Full lifting into 3, and he's just trying to stay half a car lower than his teammate. You know, whatever the 00 car is doing handling-wise, the 98 is going to be really similar.
Absolutely, with teammates there. And what he's trying to do is just keep his left side out just a little bit. I always said when he drove these Xfinity cars, keep my left side headlight out. I can get just enough air to where I can stay close and try to pack air on the leading car, which in this case is a 00, his teammate, to try to pull off that pass.
Hey, Adam. Are you okay to come back on with us?
I am.
I want to look here at Parker Kligerman on pit road.
I always tell people that my job is hard, and then you guys come in and make it look easy, and I'm embarrassed. Parker Kligerman, unscheduled pit stop, was running just outside the top 10. Right front issue for the 48.
I mean, everything looks fine right now, but I don't know.
It's not getting worse. I can barely see.
I think he was talking about the vibration. He could barely see.
Brandon McReynolds on the roof there. Patrick Donahue on the box. Tough break, loose wheel here. He ran a long time, Joey. That's a long time from when they pitted to now. He obviously ran long. You hope he didn't do permanent damage to those studs.
And that's where it's risk versus reward. The risk is that you do damage to the studs and you can't get the wheels tight the rest of the race because the studs are all boogered up, right? They're not, I don't know a better way of explaining that, Ross.
I've never used that as a play-by-play.
Boogered up is how I'm going to say it today. You can't get the lug nuts tight after that. And with 15 laps to go, you're like, man, I just want to get to the end of the stage because you know a green flag cycle isn't going to happen to where you have a chance to make this up. Now he's going to be down a lap. And, right now he's 1 lap down in 29th. The second car 1 lap down. So it's all about getting that lucky dog spot right now for Parker Kligerman.
And as we go on board here with A.J. Allmendinger, up 11 spots to 15th. This is going to put him within give him a chance going into stage 3. Get into this top 15. Not any cars in front of him. Coming back to 13 laps to go. Not looking to drive into the top 10. I don't think that'll happen without a caution, but at least they've gotten past a bulk of the cars. And as we look at this 48 wheel, we get a good look as our NASCAR official steps in front of us here. Hard to see, but if Parker couldn't see, it doesn't matter. The driver ultimately has the final call, even if the pit crew says they think they're tight.
Kligerman right now back to 28th, and we talk about trying to get the free pass. He's right behind Bilicki when it comes to getting into that position and getting back on the lead lap. 13 to go, stage 2. Allgaier leading Chandler Smith, Custard, Herbst, and Truex. We're live in Fort Worth, Texas on FS1. Surprised because the caution came out and everybody's flipping the stage. Regan?
Adam, Justin Allgaier needs to be a little bit better into the corners on entry. Feels like the car is not in the track. That debris did come off the nose about 10 laps ago. And the 81 of Chandler Smith, too rigid over the bumps right now. It was better this run, but still needs more help. Josh?
Well, for the 21 of Austin Hill, he said he needs to be able to run the bottom better when he fires off, but it does free up as the run goes. They're going to make a small adjustment here to help him out for the 00 of Cole Custard. Still way too tight. They made a big swing last time, a smaller swing this time.
We thought maybe there'd be a split, right? Some come, some stay out. A few chase stage points, a few chase track position. Instead, so many decide to come down pit road. Allgaier wins the race off. Great work by the 21 team as they go +4. Custer, Herbst, Chandler Smith come off in the top 5. This is the reason we're under caution for the 3rd time today. The 42 of Leland Honeyman, the rookie.
There's that thing we talked about earlier, Joey, just a little bit too high, pushing that limit. The outside was there, but that was above the outside. Just got his right sides too high, probably loose as well. Goes around, great job to hold the brake when he needed to, come off the brake, no damage to the car. Andrew Abbott and those guys on that 42 can put some tires on and get that roof flap down, and he can keep racing.
No harm, no foul.
It was a little bit of time before the caution came out, and I'm like, what, is he going to save it, or are we going to stay green? And then ultimately we had to go yellow.
Yeah, we saw Parker Kligerman pit there for that loose right front tire. Josh Balicki gets the free pass, Mario Goslin's group. As we go to commercial here, a few laps to go in stage 2.
Tomorrow on FS1, the stars of NASCAR battle here in the Lone Star State. The pre-race show kicks off at 2 Eastern, then the green flag flies at 3:30. It all goes down in Texas tomorrow, live on FS1.
Adam, I have a question.
Yeah, fire away.
I know I'm new here, but I watch y'all. I see these promos. Why am I not out here with all my friends?
You know, forever.
I'm barely making the cut today, guys, but I'm there.
Forever Blaney couldn't get up there. Maybe it's a beard thing. You think that's it, maybe?
I don't know. Manny doesn't have a beard here. Melon Man brand. Okay, the flags are flying out here in the wind in Texas.
A couple of things to pay off. You mentioned going to break. Josh Balicki, first car 1 lap down, gets the free pass. A number of other drivers take the wave around, most notably Parker Kligerman. So he is now back on the lead lap. And with these drivers pitting here prior to the end of the stage, we would anticipate at the end of stage 2, they will all stay out and won't make another pit stop till we get well into that final stage. Front row for the restart with 6 to go. Allgaier, Austin Hill. We're rolling again at Texas.
Well, it's a good side-by-side restart here. We've seen the inside lane really have control into turn 1. Austin Hill does a good job keeping it side-by-side.
Yeah, this is the cleanest air Austin Hill's had. If he can hang on this right rear, which looks like the 7 car is going to get clear, this is the best Austin Hill has been to start the run track position wise as he gets pushed by the 98 and clear in front of the 00 into second.
Teammates side by side for third. 98 is Herbst. 00 is Custard.
Ryan
Look
Truex.
at Truex.
Oh, into the fence.
Slight save. He does slap the wall, and he's going in the wrong direction.
If there's a car in NASCAR that I want to hit the wall in, it is in the Xfinity car, but that was a solid hit as he's up out of the group now.
He's definitely got some problems now.
Doesn't look like he likes what he feels here.
Unfortunate for that 20 team that has really performed at a high level lately. Last 2 weeks, top 2, 3 stage wins. Eric Almirola got the win overall at Martinsville. Nemechek won in this car at Las Vegas. Here's what happened coming off of turn 4.
It just gets a little bit high. You can see the car wiggling. He's kind of right on that edge and just jumped up into that ice that we talk about. A little bit too high, and boom, into the fence.
Yeah, there's a really big bump over there right in that area. Hard to tell here. Sheldon Creed has a big moment, saves it. His teammate Chandler Smith bails out, and wow, I cannot believe they saved that.
But you can see it right there when Chandler Smith was coming off the high side in turn 2. You can see the dust behind his car. That's why it's so slick when you get up there. But these guys are racing with 4 laps to go in the stage. Everyone is ultra aggressive, pressuring them. And I'm not sure Chandler Smith even has his tires clean yet.
No, that looked really tight. You see Matt DiBenedetto there in the 38. Gain on him through 3 and 4 as we take a look back into turn 1. See Sheldon Creed down here in the bottom, the 18. Sammy Smith really close. Didn't touch him, but that put Chandler Smith in the worst spot of everybody. Sheldon Creed also losing spots. Now Chandler Smith's tires are dirty. He's fighting off Daniel Dye.
What is it with the Gibbs cars today? You had Taylor Gray with a big save. Truex goes wide. Now Chandler Smith. They've been in the middle of the mess on multiple occasions today. You pop Daniel Dye. He had the early problem, but he's come back to run inside the top 20. 2 to go. Second stage, Allgaier. 1.3 seconds in front of the duo from Stewart Haas, Custard and Herbst. Brandon Jones up to 4th, and Hill has fallen back to 5th since the restart.
Yeah, and we saw this out of Austin earlier. Not a lot of fire-off speed. Unfortunately, was in 3rd, back to 5th with Ryan Sieg now in position to pass him down here on the front stretch. Not the fire-off and not what you need on the final lap of stage 2.
Sieg goes by. Sammy Smith, maybe. Yes, there goes Sieg. Sammy Smith hanging out right behind him as well.
That's a good run for Ryan Sieg. Obviously a lot of speed in that car today, able to legit run up in the top 5 right now.
How good is Justin Allgaier? And this is going to be the 11th time he's swept stages. He went on to win 2 of those events prior in his career. Allgaier today has led 61 laps. 3rd time he's pulled off the sweep here at Texas. Custer, Herbst, Jones, Ryan Sieg the top 5. Sammy Smith gets points in 6th. Hill, his teammate Jesse Love, 7th and 8th. Allmendinger gets back to 9th, and Sam Mayer rounds out the top 10. 2 stages down at Texas. Two stages in the books here at Texas Motor Speedway for the NASCAR Xfinity Series with Joey Logano, Ross Chastain. I'm Adam Alexander. Justin Allgaier 2 for 2, winning those first two stages of the afternoon. Now we get to our sweet move of the stage, sponsored by Andy's Frozen Custard.
We're still waiting on our own Andy's Frozen Custard over Adam, but look at this restart. Justin Allgaier controlling this race up to this point. Another flawless restart, gets clear into the lead.
He's done a solid job with different competitors on his outside. And that turn 1 and 2 he's got going there. That's where it's at. We've seen him beat him on the restart zone to turn 1, but that time he beat him through turn 2. She's enjoying the sweet move of the race.
Got that Rangers hat on. Rangers coming up next against the Astros on FS1, Regan.
Well, Adam, something to keep an eye on with the leader of number 7, Justin Allgaier, reported when the caution flag came out to have his team check the tape from the last pit stop. Maybe was feeling something on the left sides. Saw everybody jump up and start pulling the videos and studying everything. Crew Chief Jim Pullman has been staring at a computer screen since he said that, trying to figure out what might be going on.
Gosh, when you're the leader, Joey, you hear things, you feel things. You hope they're not real, but you got to talk about them. You got to have your team check the tape.
And what they're looking at is that on these air guns, there's a stripe that they can slow it down, and they can see if that socket is ratcheting and getting those lug nuts tight. If the driver feels like there's a loose wheel, that's the first thing they go back to see, and is the wheel actually tight to make a good call. Got some 81 radio here.
Whatever that was garbage, because now my front end definitely don't work. Both ends of the corner. And the other thing just plows like a damn dump truck. So you're running.
Yeah, and we saw that. Obviously, the big moment with his teammate Sheldon Creed. But even after that, we saw Chandler further back in the pack, and actually other cars that he's been stronger than all day and all year, driving up next to him. Here we see Justin Allgaier trying to decide he's going to stay out, right? He's feeling something when he's at speed. He decides it's not worse enough, it's not bad enough to pit, as we see Jeb Burton and SVG on pit road.
There's a few takers, but as we thought, most would stay out here because they elected to flip the stage and pit right there before the stage ended with the caution coming out.
Jeb Burton running 11th in that stage, just out of stage points. You wonder what this is about. That's probably not according to Shane's plan as crew chief.
Yeah, Chandler Smith also going to make a stop here. He had 2 sets of tires to manage for the final stage. You put a set on here. Couldn't make it challenging late. However, we get a long green flag run and everything falls just right. These drivers could be in a decent position later on. Justin Allgaier is the race leader. He's led 65 of 94 laps here this afternoon. Getting ready for the final stage here at Texas. Here are those that brought home the stage points today. Allgaier with the sweep gets 20. Good day for Herbst and his teammate Cole Custard. Look at Chandler Smith. He gets 9 stage points today, and that's a big deal because they were on pit road with damage moments ago. So this is what created everything.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. Sheldon Creed, a big moment. And that 81 contact doesn't look like much, but the left front headlight on the 81 does get pushed in. Chandler doesn't know it. He just thinks he's really, really tight. They come down pit road. The crew's able to see it. Now we gotta bare bond up. Joey, you wish you could get that headlight pushed back out. Reach up on there, punch it out.
You like
Must be too weak.
Must be too hard to do it.
Joey was actually telling them to do it under commercial.
Take your hammer to that thing and pop it back the other way. I don't think it's that simple to pop a dent right back out of this thing, but at least they found something wrong with it. I have the opportunity to fix it. I don't know if they fixed it as good as they wanted to, but we got some 7 radio here.
Boys, all I want to say is this: appreciate all the effort here. This thing's awesome, man. You know, whether we win the race or not, it doesn't matter. Appreciate the effort and putting this thing together, man. It's a beautiful race car, man.
The corn car, it is beautiful.
Hey, and Brand has been around. You talked about this earlier, forever. So we appreciate their support of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Front row, 2 veterans that we made the favorites for this race yesterday. Justin Allgaier, Cole Custard.
What a jump by Justin Allgaier. Riley Herbst following him through. You see Ryan Sieg in 5th and A.J. Allmendinger back up to 9th for this restart, Joey.
Yeah, Justin, look at him gone. We talked about these restarts, how that car just fires off through 1 and 2. That thing is lights out. And he just builds himself separation to where he can control the race from there as they're 3 wide into 3.
That makes me nervous. Austin Hill sliding up in front of Sieg. Got Sammy Smith out there in the 8. Brandon Jones having a great day in 4th. Look at Austin Hill hanging on. Looked like someone, clipped the grass there.
Sammy Smith, the only one up there on the top. As we see, Chad Fincham has left front damage on the apron, and 3 or 4 whole left front fender gone off that car.
Look at Junior Motorsports.
Slide.
Hang on to
Leland Honeyman Jr. again with a big slide. Saves it this time.
He just got the free pass, got back on the lead lap, and going for a wild ride again. Another sweet move, I guess. Depends on what seat you're sitting in.
I like my seat a lot better right now, Joey. It looks slick.
Yeah, that's one thing about sweet saves is you got to make a mistake first to have a save. So I don't know if I want to be on that highlight reel. There's a big loose moment there for the 21.
You know, Junior Motorsports didn't have a top 5 before last week. They put 3 in the top 5, 4 in the top 7. And the JRM Chevys delivering again today. All 4. 7th or better. Justin Allgaier is leading this thing. Let's go down to Josh.
Yeah, let's get an update on the 9 of Brandon Jones. Having a strong run today, and this team needs that. Had 2 rough races in a row. The biggest complaint for Brandon Jones, saying the car fired off a little bit too tight, but keep an eye on how the 9 handles this stage. Crew Chief Philip Bell told Brandon that the fuel window for this one or for the next break is 140 to 148. He also told him, you know what my plan is. And when I talked to him earlier in the day, he wouldn't tell me the plan. He said it's not what the others are doing.
Spin off turn 4. Jeff Burton slapping the wall. Everybody's trying to get by.
He was running 11th when the stage ended. Didn't like his race car, so they made a pit stop, gave up the track position, and now he brings out our 5th caution of the day.
Gosh, yeah, you hate that. Right to his pit stall. Big damage for Shane Whitbeck and his guys to try to fix here for Jordan Anderson Racing.
And he was running 19th there. And obviously that car is hurt really bad. This racing, it just seems like this race has gotten more and more intense as it's going around here, especially on these restarts. Cars are getting loose a lot. Here we see the 27 of Jeb Burton off of turn 4, kind of right where those bumps are, Ross, and breaks loose, tags it with the right rear. And in these cars, that's a very sensitive spot.
It is, and you know, he pitted, we didn't hear his radio, but he was probably talking with Shane and saying, I want to work on this car. I'll get you back up there, man. As we see him through 3 and 4 here on board the state water heaters. Let's listen. Those bumps. You heard the bottom out. You heard the side skirt hit. Yeah, I mean, hit hard enough that the right side window came loose. It was so solid. His hands were so steady until the bump.
The right there. Just kind of starts coming around on him. And now, obviously, pretty bad air situation as well, right? 2 cars side by side like that in front of you. Kind of a tough spot as you come off of turn 4. The wind's blowing a lot today. On top of all that, let's not forget to mention that the wind can get a gust and off you go.
It's been a tough season for that team, the 27 group. But next week we go to Talladega, where he will enter the defending race winner. So maybe that'll breathe a little confidence. Under caution at Texas. NASCAR Xfinity Series racing at Texas Motor Speedway. It's the Andes Frozen Custard 300. Justin Allgaier leads, second and third teammates from Stewart-Haas Racing, Riley Herbst and Cole Custard. And you look at the season for this duo, it's quite interesting because they bounced around. Of course, Custard, the reigning champion. And I looked the other day, if you look at his performance through 7 races this year compared to last year, it's pretty far ahead this season in comparison to 2023. Herbst off to a great start, got bounced around a little bit. You see some of the inconsistency, but today it's been a nice comeback for that group.
Yeah, both those cars seem to be pretty solid, and they're solid every week, right? Those two Stewart-Haas cars, they run comparable to each other. And it seems like, you know, Cole, with the experience that he has, he's able to really maximize his runs. And I think that's what Cole's doing today. He doesn't have the fastest car. He's done a great job at maintaining track position by having good restarts, playing good defense, and doing the details great on pit road.
And A. Ford is winless this year. Let's get a quick update from pit road. Austin Hill came in, Josh.
Yeah, and Austin Hill came in because the adjustments they made last time, he said, made that car much, much worse. Just the handling in that car was not where they needed to be. So when they came in, they made an air pressure, a chassis adjustment. So pitting out of strategy, but a car was just struggling for Austin Hill.
And they should have one set of tires left for later in the race, but everyone right now outside their fuel window, and that's why we didn't see more drivers come down the pit lane. I say outside the fuel window, I mean to pit now and be able to go the rest of the way.
We're only halfway through the race, Adam.
Yeah.
We're coming back to 94 laps to go. And you see that with this 7 car out front, 3.5 tenths faster than these 2 SHR cars right behind him for fast lap. That 7 is so fast. He ran his fastest laps, and a couple of them did, on that last restart, just this last run.
Yeah, I'd say on a restart like this, if I'm Cole Custard, I'm just trying to break the plane to that bumper so he doesn't get down to the bottom. As soon as that 7 gets to the bottom, he seems to go through 1 and 2 so fast. But another great restart once again. I would expect the same thing in 1 and 2.
Ryan Sieg restarting 6th there, continuing to fight with these guys as he gets outside of Sammy Smith, and Justin Allgaier away with the lead again, like we've seen every time.
Well, Brandon Jones was going to drive it right down the middle of the teammates from Stewart-Haas. Instead, he tucks in line behind Cole Custard.
He wanted to.
he thought about it, didn't he?
Get in there.
See Brandon Jones trying to break up this SHR party in 2nd and 3rd. Has position on the inside. We don't know if the top's quite there yet. A.J. Allmendinger, aggressive bottom of 3.
How about a little 2 for 1 for A.J. Allmendinger? Crossover inside. He jumps up inside the top 5.
Great heads-up driving by Sammy Smith and Ryan Sieg in the 39. To see that A.J. made the move, now it's up to them. He gave them a choice. A.J. gave those 2 cars a choice. Do you crash or do you let me by? I have the speed and I have the position.
Both choices not real good, but that is the position he put him in. And turn 1 does that, right? The entry, the way there's so much space into the corner that there's runs that build all the way down the front straightaway. There's the opportunity to dive bomb it in there. You don't make many friends doing it, but no one's here to make friends.
What? These guys love to be friends, Joey. You don't like to be friends with people?
I like people.
I don't like to be friends with them.
You know what I've learned up here?
I've
learned up here, Ross, that Joey has a small circle, you know?
Mine's more of a square.
Well said. Great battle for 3rd. Jones and Herbst just going back and forth.
A.J. Allmendinger rolling the top there on the 39. Clear into 5th. You know, Joey, earlier we questioned. AJ was about 16th, 15th place. He pitted with all the leaders. We were like, why don't you flip the stage? Restart up front for the short run to the end of stage 2. Get some stage points. You're within a couple of the back of the lead lap. He doesn't do what we think to do, running 5th now.
Seems to work out. Maybe they're smarter than us, Ross.
I just drive the car. I push the pedals and turn the wheel.
It is a great recovery, though, for the 16 A.J. Allmendinger. Remember, he missed his pit stall earlier in the race and has been fighting and scratching and clawing all the way back up into the top 5. That's something to be proud of. And I think he's got his car dialed in to where he can legit get up into the top 2. I don't know if he's got anything for the 7, but once you get up there, you never know.
You know, it's funny you think of AJ as a road racer, and rightfully so, because he's so good at it, right? However, 2 of his 17 career wins have come on 1.5-mile tracks. He won at Atlanta before we made it a drafting track. Also won a couple of years ago at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And speaking of Las Vegas, that's where Ryan Sieg was so good earlier this year, and he's turned it up again this afternoon. You go outside the top 10, and Austin Hill made that pit stop, starting to make a push through the field. Plus 10 since the restart. Kligerman also on the move at plus 7. Taylor Gray came down pit road. He's plus 5.
But I mean, that's the penalty he took, right? Austin Hill still back in 18th, trying to pass Ryan Truex for 17th right now. That tire advantage he has isn't going to be enough to get all the way back up to the front, but he's able to try to, you know, work on his car some, which is he was struggling with the handling of, and also have a bit of a tire advantage enough to maybe get some of that track position back and have 1 set of tires left for the rest of this race.
You go just outside the top 10, and Anthony Alfredo, good yesterday in practice, backed it up in qualifying, and here he is running right where he needs to, looking for another top 12, 15 finish. And, you know, he came into the day in the plus column when it comes to making the playoffs, and so that's exactly what this team needs to do. And Kligerman, although they've not finished unbelievable every week, they too have been able to collect a lot of points playing the game in stages, and he's 12th right now.
Yeah, you see Anthony let the 48 go. He knows that's not his fight right now. And as we go back to 13, Parker Retzlaff a guy that continues to show speed, matches his older teammate, Jeb Burton. I can call him older because I'm similar in age, but Parker continues to match the speed. No power steering. Going in and out in practice yesterday. Parker's a guy like me, small guy. We can't drive these cars without power steering. You see it wiggling through 3 and 4 loose. If that thing doesn't have power steering, he can't drive it. Just behind him, Kyle Sieg, family team. You know, he's got an older brother, Ryan, obviously well established in this series, running 7th right now. Kyle continuing to learn. You know that he's soaking up all he can from Ryan and what that team has built. I know their old crew chief Cowboys off in the mountains, proud of the brothers.
Another good day for Josh Williams, top 15, Joey.
Absolutely. Josh Williams, you know, when he jumped into his college car, I think this is what we've all been wanting to see is this opportunity to jump into a faster race car, a great opportunity that he's earned over many, many years here in the Xfinity Series. And, you know, it still takes time to learn that team. It takes time to you know, adapt to not only the car but the people and how to race in a faster car. That changes a lot of things, and you see throughout the first few weeks he had some issues. Now the last 2 races starting to peek into that top 10 a little more often.
And like I mentioned earlier, guys, Josh, a kid that I grew up racing with, we're similar in age. His dad, Kevin, actually rented the track from the airport down in Punta Gorda, Florida, that we raced at. They had the rental to it, and we all raced there. They let me drive their legend car one time. I beat Josh. He was so mad at his dad for letting me drive one of their cars, and I won the race, my only Legends car race ever. I beat Josh by a nose. Great race. He wasn't happy. I was, but in the Pro Trucks, the Fast Kid division, we did a lot of racing, a lot of wrecking, I'll be honest. I still owe him one, and he knows it. And I'm going to catch that thing one day, not at a track like Texas. So.
What a memory.
Just over 80 laps to go. Let's talk strategy in the final stage with a 7.
You guys need to decide if you want me to go and get a gap for a green flag stop or manage tires for the long run. I'm not managing right now, but I can do either one.
Eddie, let's go gap management, about 50% gap management.
He's not working hard enough.
No, 50% gap management. I don't even know. I've never heard those words before. So kind of manage it, but kind of don't, I guess is what that means. That just shows that the 7 of Justin Allgaier is a hoss today. That thing is the real thing.
Regan, what's up with the 8?
Adam, give a little bit of credit to Sammy Smith and crew chief Adam Wall. Early on in that race, not happy with the car and what he was dealing with. Needed security all over the racetrack, both ends of the track in and off. Well, they've gotten him fixed up to where he's now inside the top 10. Right now, the car's not too bad, just a little bit tight on exit. Likes the entry, though.
And this is a place where he feels good. Sammy Smith, 3rd here last fall in his only start in an Xfinity car at Texas Motor Speedway. 80 laps to go. Allgaier leading Jones, Herbst, Custard, and Allmendinger. The fans, they're having a good time in Fort Worth. Last Saturday night in Martinsville, Virginia, drivers chasing a grandfather clock. This afternoon in Texas, they want that cowboy hat. And in line to go out and get his first, Justin Allgaier. Man, has he been strong today. Swept the first 2 stages of the afternoon. And as we take a look at our lap leader, sponsored by Andy's Frozen Custard, he is top of the board, leading almost half the race already. I mean, he's led 97 of 126. He hits 100. He's led half the race, and we got a lot of racing to do here today. Chandler Smith on the board as well after starting up front earlier this afternoon.
Had some young faces on that promo there, and a younger Kevin Harvick. I'm sitting here. I look down at the box I'm working with my headset. My name was lightly taped over Kevin. So I will say, Kevin, I'll try to keep your area here clean for tomorrow.
A good battle here. The 18 trying to get underneath. The 8 of Sammy Smith makes a nice clean look, made it look easy. I know it wasn't easy, but it made it look easy.
You know, Brandon Jones had a great rally there. Got around both those cars from Stewart Haas. Was up to second, but Riley Herbst showing what he's got on the long haul. Flashes back by to the runner-up spot.
And we see these guys, even with Brandon Jones in commercial, we were talking, Joey, he had it down to 1.7. Now Herbst has actually passed him within a second and a quarter of Allgaier, but we heard Jim Pullman talking about 50% gap management. We don't know what that exactly means, but these guys are gaining on him, and if they are thinking about a green flag stop, Justin wants the biggest lead he can have. He doesn't want to burn his tires up doing it, but he doesn't want it to go now within a second. That's not what Justin wants.
I feel like that's a little closer than he would like to be as they kind of work through traffic. But, you know, this 98 of Riley Herbst looking pretty strong at the moment, able to move his way through the field.
Oh, that is a nice exit of turn 2 for the rookie, Jesse Love. You see this guy. He's on the hammer. He's qualifying on the pole. He's getting his RPM shifts done, upshifts in qualifying. But then when you come to the race, all this is new. Like we talked about earlier, he's been racing some ARCA cars. He's done dirt racing, but never these 1.5 miles in these NASCAR Xfinity Series cars. Seeing a lot of these tracks for the first time, working with his crew for the first time. Here inside the top 10 with Parker, an Alliance car at RCR with Big Machine Racing, and Scott Borchetta, a guy that races himself, but he lets this team do their thing. And they're fighting both for a top 10.
You know, we talked about Jesse Love earlier in the race too. He was starting on the pole. We said in practice he probably doesn't know exactly what he needs for the race. This is a classic rookie into a new series and he's doing a great job because he learned his lesson early in the race. Oh my gosh, my car doesn't drive very good. It's way too loose. Make some adjustments. That's what the team wants to see, is when you make adjustments and the car gets better. And that's what Jesse Love's been able to do is survive through the first run, make some adjustments, get the car faster, and start scratching and crawling his way through the field. When he comes to these racetracks the second time, the third, fourth time, he's going to have an idea of what he needs, and he won't have to go through that first part of the race where he struggles a little bit trying to figure out the balance.
Yeah, we saw there Riley Herbst, Justin Allgaier lapping by Garrett Smithley there, going a second lap down on the 6-car Trophy Tractor, a longtime sponsor of his, and other drivers. Stephen Parsons Friday night got their first top 10. For a sponsor, a Texas-based company, Jeff Miller and his group that has been in this sport for years, getting their first top 10 with that 75 truck last night was a big deal. It was cool for them, cool to watch, cool to see that progression of Stephen behind the wheel as well.
I'm impressed with Ross being able to know a lot of names of
here's a guy that's
very impressive.
He's knocked on a lot of doors in the garage, hasn't he?
He knows everybody.
It's all about building relationships. Hey, it was a sad week for everyone in the NASCAR community. Bob Labonte passed away, won 2 championships in the NASCAR Xfinity Series as an owner, the father to both Bobby and Terry in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Our condolences to the entire Labonte family.
The 9's good.
Ross Chastain making his Xfinity booth debut. And we know, I mean, he's good up here today, but you're really good at this.
The watermelons have never tasted sweeter, Adam. I was actually worried the first time I ever did it, 2018 at Las Vegas. Worried for what my granddaddy was going to say, if he was going to be mad that I wasted one. But seeing as yesterday was the first day of harvest for my dad and brother, for Chad and my dad Ralph, for JDI Farms, we got our first watermelons out of the field, into the school buses, headed to people's local grocery stores. It's a good time to talk about Florida watermelons.
You do or don't put salt on the watermelon when you eat it?
When we grow them as good as we do, Adam,
you don't need
anything.
Well said.
You have started something in my house that now my son Hudson, he goes, did you see what Ross did? He smashed the Now we get a watermelon. He wants to smash the watermelons all the time. No, it doesn't really work like that in our house.
In the middle of the grocery store, right? look at this. Aaron Marks, the boss, weighing in today.
Yeah, I went Trackhouse blue with the suit. Even had the Trackhouse lapel pin logo made. That didn't tell anybody I was doing that. Didn't get approvals from anybody at legal at Trackhouse. But I hope that Justin and Aaron like what they're hearing. I'm winging this stuff, guys. I'm having a blast up here. My amigo, Daniel Suarez, has told me that you get a totally different perspective. And I will say that it is. Look, I have my tablet up here with SMT. I'm poking through some laps, looking at some lap times. I'm looking out the window. Okay, I don't always do it exactly how you're supposed to, as you elder statesmen do it a little more professional, but I'm learning as I go.
Thank you for the elder statement thing. That's awesome.
Did I booger that up?
Anyway, speaking of boogering up the lead, right now is Riley Herbst has reeled in Justin Allgaier. Justin was so confident about his car and talking about how hard should I push it. Well, push now, because green flag stops are just right around the corner. Riley Herbst is right there. Don't look too far back. Is Brandon Jones in the 9, and his closed it all up.
His teammate Joey Sammy Smith, first one to pit road, first one to blink. As Adam Walt calls Sammy, and he's down the way from his stall. Now we've got Cole Custard on pit road.
Josh, here he comes.
And for Cole Custard, it's been the same problem all day long. He gets tight on the long run. He said, I can't be as confident as I would like to be. So on this stop, they're going to try and help him out and hope that they can get him where he needs to be for this final run.
These are scheduled green flag pit stops. You come down here, get your service. It's been right around 60 laps since they last came down there prior to the end of stage 2.
Guys, this race could be decided on this pit cycle, Joey. These top 3 leaders are all right together. Close enough. If one beats the other one to pit road, gets on and off pit road with those fresh tires, that could be the difference.
And right now, if I'm Riley Herbst, bring me in. Hit me right now. I want to short pit that 7 of Justin Allgaier and try to jump up in front of him. I think the 7.
They're pitting. They're all 3
Here they
coming.
come.
Brandon Jones.
No one got to jump them.
Jesse Love making his stop. And the top 3 in as well. Allgaier, Herbst, and Jones, Regan.
That's right, the leaders all coming to pit road right now. The 7 car of Justin Allgaier said a few laps ago he just got 2 free past where it lands, so he needs a little help with that. In the 98 of Riley Herbst in 2nd place. Riley Herbst a little bit too tight with the right front. Josh?
And for the 9 of Brandon Jones, it's been a strong run for him so far today. His biggest problem, he needs to be better center exit of 2. That's the deal for the 9 of Brandon Jones.
17 holding serve here as we see Brandon Jones down the end of pit road, but the 7 car going to be clear and free off pit road as long as no speeding. Keeps the lead.
A.J. Allmendinger also making a pit stop. He was inside the top 5. So when all this cycles through, that should be the battle for the top spot. And as you said, Ross, Justin Allgaier holding serve in that cycle of green flag pit stops, but many others going to run this a little longer, including Sheldon Creed, who has taken over the top spot with 56 to go.
And I like this strategy. So here's what they're thinking here. They're saying, okay, the fastest way on paper to run this 100-lap span is to split it right in the center. Now, the leaders, they decided to short pit it because they didn't want to get jumped and lose track position, because it's very hard to pass cars, right? It's slower to pass cars. But by Sheldon Creed staying out here, he's going to have 5 to 7 lap newer tires than everybody. That may be enough to be able to pass those cars back and be able to maybe net out a few spots if it runs green the rest of the race.
Yeah, and when I'm in this scenario, if we're gonna do it, I want to do it. I want to go long. I don't want 5 or 7 laps. I've been behind the wheel of that 18 as we see him on pit road now. I want to go longer. I'm not the one making that call, just like Sheldon's not either.
Taylor Gray is in. Parker Kligerman in the 48. 18 is Sheldon Creed, who had inherited the race lead, going to make his green flag pit stop with 54 laps to go. That puts Austin Hill out front. Now remember, Austin came down at lap 104, right? So he can run this thing quite a bit longer. And a tire sneaking away there on the pit stop for Creed.
I think it's a penalty. I think when you put your hand down like that, I don't think you can do that.
I think you're right.
You see Austin Hill.
We're going to find out here in a second.
Yeah, it won't be long. We see Austin Hill leading through 3 and 4 as we were watching that, really high in 3 and 4. You know, you don't know if he was intending to be that high, he's really pushing the limit. We'll see this time. That's up there. That is aggressive, but obviously experienced guy, knows what he needs to do to make lap time. Now it's all about this. This is all that this is about. Make lap time, minimize the time loss as these other leaders are going to be coming by him and getting, you know, whether they're getting back in the lead lap, as we see, you know, Riley Herbst, Cole Custard next up. Justin Allgaier has already done that. Caution comes out now. He's free and clear. These other guys are just trying to get to that 21 as quick as they can.
Top 8 cars in our pylon will have to make a pit stop. And here you see Herbst has gone by, Custer and Allmendinger trying to do the same, trying to get themselves back on the lead lap. So should a caution come out, they'd be in a much better position here as we've hit 51 laps to go.
But I like this, you know, for the 21 car, he's putting on his last set of tires. That's another piece that he has to think about. So he's more incentivized to stay out, because if the caution comes out with 20 to go, he's got no tires left anyway. So he may run long and try to trap some cars down a lap and try to, you know, get a lucky caution.
There was a penalty for Sheldon Creed on the tire, so they will have to do a pass-through penalty. Unfortunate for them, because they'd spent a good portion of this final stage, early part of the final stage, inside the top 10. Austin Hill leads. Ryan Truex is second. Shane Van Gisbergen is third. Chandler Smith, Kyle Weatherman, Leland Honeyman, Matt DiBenedetto. The top 7 all going to have to make a pit stop. But right now they've put themselves in a decent spot should we get a caution.
And you go back as this cycle continues to cycle. That job by the 7 team, Justin Allgaier, getting on and off pit road, distancing himself from those guys that had chased him down by raw speed. He did not want that gap to get that close, right, Joey, but when that pressure was on, that Jim Pullman-led team did the work. Justin, experienced guy, got on and off pit road. Clearly, really, really good. Together with the pit crew, did better than the other 2.
It was the pit stop is what did it. Because when they got on the pit road, they were all right with each other. The pit stop seems very fast.
Well, you look at the comparison, and we'll put it in here for you. But as you guys talk about, there's so much that goes into it. But here it is by the numbers, bottom of the pylon, how the 7 team was able to execute and win the battle in the green flag stop by 2 seconds.
Yeah, so get that pin out here.
I got you. So here you see the totals. But the difference here is the crew time. The pit crew, they were able to make up most of that time, that big chunk. And that just lets Justin breathe for a second. Let me get out here, work through some of the traffic, and look at the difference that makes on the racetrack. You may say, boy, what's a second and a half? I mean, that can't be that long. Well, when you're going 180 miles an hour, a second and a half is a lot of distance on the racetrack and control of the race.
You think he's back to that 50% gap management?
I think he may go a little harder this time.
We see him go by Haley Deegan, that 15. AM Racing, Tim Self, a guy. I raced with Austin in the truck series. We've done some, he's off racing dirt cars now. And you see this team grow. And when I first heard about their ambitions with their group they had together, you know, you think, can they do it? Can they really go out and show up every week with an Xfinity car in this series, new to it? And they've done it. They do it with Haley now, and you see her.
Brett Moffitt last year.
Brett Moffitt helped build that team, was a steady force. Now Haley gets to learn. She's been in the Truck Series. I'm working with her former crew chief, Mike Hillman Jr. At Nice Motorsports, and you see the progression, and you see the thing starting to click as a driver. I remember when I was driving in the Xfinity Series, road courses were my thing. I went to Justin Marks asking him when he was driving the 42 for Ganassi. And I texted him one day and I said, hey, I think it's starting to click. And he said, I love to see it, brother. And it's moments like that I see with drivers like Haley, that it's starting to put together. Clean days is what she needs. Run all the laps and continue to learn. Let that team get those cars better for her.
This would be the battle for second on track. Sam Mayer trying to run down Riley Herbst. And I say it would be the battle for second because they are second and third in line of those drivers that have already made a pit stop, officially 8th and 9th. But the top 6 are going to have to come down pit road. And you see the laps since they last made a pit stop. Somewhere in the next 10 laps or so, everybody going to have to come under green. Of those top 6 I'm referring to.
Oh, this is a junior motorsports car, right? We talked about how strong the 7 is. Well, the 9 of Brendan Jones was boogieing at the end of that last stint before they made the green flag stop. Now you have Sam Mayer in the 1, a JRM car that's putting pressure on Riley Herbst right now to try to make this pass. They got speed today. They got a lot of speed.
That's something we've seen out of Sam. Not always starting off the best or having the best stages, but putting a race like Martinsville, drives up, takes the lead, passes all the JGR cars. Now you see him. The SHR cars have been the second best group. Now we see him ahead of Cole and right on Riley's bumper as he slides off the 2 there.
Ryan Truex, you see it in the pylon coming down pit road, was up inside the top 3, but he had to give up track position to make a scheduled green flag pit stop. Team that won last week at Martinsville, second 2 weeks ago at Richmond, won earlier this season at Las Vegas, and Ryan Truex back behind the wheel for the 3rd time this year. We'll also see him next week at Talladega and a couple of weeks time at Dover, where he won last year. This is not for position. Ryan Sieg has made a pit stop. Austin Hill is the race leader. He'll have to come down.
Getting back on the lead lap here, Ryan Sieg. It's so hard to describe when you're racing in that, outside of those top couple that get back on the lead lap quickly, like we saw a while ago with Cole Custard, the 98, the 7. But for Ryan Sieg, this could be the make or break point of his race. This could be the Custard sweep move of the race, just getting back on that lead lap. And if the caution comes out now, he's able to just stay with that lead pack, not have to wave around. He can pit if he wants. It opens up the box for that 39 car. It's hard to put into words how important that is at this moment.
Puts him into 6th in the running order after everyone cycles through with their pit stop. Now we take a look at our Toyota top performers. It's been a really bizarre day for Joe Gibbs Racing, and even Corey Heim, who had spent some time in the top 15 early in the race. Best of the bunch right now, Chandler Smith. He's going to have to make a pit stop. Taylor Gray had that unbelievable save early. Just saw Ryan Truex making his stop under green back in the 21st position.
Yeah, it really hasn't been their day. Chandler showed some speed early in the race. Getting that damage has really hurt him. And right now they're taking a bit of a gamble, right? This is their chance. They're hoping, man, somebody just spin out or something. That's what they're hoping, to get a caution, and then they can throw on their set of tires at 38 laps to go. But I don't think it's going to happen, and time is running out, and they're going to have to pit here shortly.
Guys, as we look at this, we zoom out. I'm going to need a bigger screen to see the gap between the 7, the 98, and the 1 here. It goes back to that pit crew time. All that went into that got the gap for the 7. The 1 has a shot. He has put himself, Marty Lindley has made the adjustments to match the speed now, as we see him work up into the second and a half lane in turns 1 and 2. He's got a shot. Now, if he can go up there and pass the 98.7, we don't know. But at least at least he has a shot, just like Martinsville, and that's what Sam Mayer has gotten better at through last year, 2023. You know, in the years before that, he didn't make the car better, but you see that in his progression as a driver from the very first time he walked into the WISE program out behind Ganassi to now, the transformation I've seen from him as a driver. His dad was driving him there, Adam. He couldn't even drive his own vehicle over there. Then he's racing ARCA as we see Chandler Smith coming to pit road.
He finally gives up his spot and makes a green flag stop. Chandler Smith.
Yeah, that damage, Joey, really hurting that car. They ran this long. Now, if they have to pit, you know, there's no way they're going to overcome that left front damage.
Yeah, that, and you know, they ran so long. You know, we talked about splitting halfway to be the fastest. They went way past the split. They were banking on a caution. They went for that strategy. They never got it. They'll pay the price in the finishing order.
Yep, that's fine. SVG on the same strategy. We saw Kyle Weatherman, the tweaker Chevy, on pit road just a few laps ago with Mario Goslin. They did the same thing. I love it. For SVG, what does he have to lose? He's learning. You know, and as I train with Shane, a guy that's going to run 1,000 kilometers this year, 365 days. He's on pace to do it. He's got some buddies back home. They want to do that. He's such an inspiration to me because
you're talking about on foot.
On foot. On his feet.
Oh, no,
I thought you were telling a tractor story again.
No, come on. I know I did the rambling, but
I thought we were talking about Bathurst or something.
No, it's so cool to see his Worldwide Express Chevy there and see him learning and see him come back every week and then have the smile, and He's talks about how cool it is to see Kyle Weatherman on those new tires, like I talked about, left front or left rear rubbing. That'll clearance itself. Keep running. Stay ahead of that 21 to stay one more lap from down.
Austin Hill still leads. He's going to be on pit road soon under green, and that will cycle things back to Justin Allgaier. 33 laps to go. We're going side by side on FS1. You saw it while we were side by side. Austin Hill made his pit stop. Everything is cycled through. Justin Allgaier back on point, but his advantage not huge over second place Riley Herbst, 0.4 of a second.
And he's going to lose a lot of time right there. He wasn't able to clear the lap car there, and it's going to allow Riley Herbst to close up very close to the back bumper with 28 laps to go.
Oh, contact!
Here comes
Leland
the pass
Honeyman
for
going to go around.
Leland
into the
Honeyman
wall.
sideways into the wall, and the caution comes out.
I have been exactly where Leland Honeyman is. The 7 car pushing you up off turn 2. Ours was on a restart, but contact there, caution out.
Now, 28 laps to go. And not everyone, but a lot of these drivers will have a set of tires waiting for them in the pits. Let's go back and watch what happened.
You see the 7 slide up the racetrack there. He knew how important it was to him to clear Leland Honeyman right there. Wasn't able to do it as he slid up the racetrack, but he felt the pressure is what happened. Justin Allgaier felt the pressure of Riley Herbst being right there, knows the race is about to be on the line. I got to go. Unfortunately, there's a lap car there, and that's part of racing hard at the end of the race.
Yeah, I mean, for Leland in that DWC Chevy, you know, with Tyler Young, he's trying to stay 1 lap down, not be the 2nd lap down. That's so frustrating. As a lap car, we have the right to race. As the leader, you also have the right to push them up. When you're frustrated like that, obviously you don't want to wreck them. Crazy how that right front tire kept grabbing that wall. That was you don't see that very often.
It seems like it must have bent something maybe and got the right front looking at the wall a little bit after the first hit.
I mentioned the fact that a lot of these teams still have tires. If they take advantage of that, and I would anticipate you do here, right? Austin Hill stayed on the lead lap through that cycle. And
he did.
So this could be enormous for him, depending on how everyone else plays the strategy. He's got a few laps on his tires under green, but he could cycle to the race lead here.
I think he's only got maybe...
And I don't think he's got any tires left because he had, right?
But I think he only took 2 rights.
There you go. Yeah, we got
That's
confirmation.
That's how he stayed on the lead. That was so surprising.
Great call by Andy on the pit box.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. That saved their race. Now they come down, get their lefts. They're still going to have a better stop, and they're on the lead lap than if they would have taken 4. They played the long game, didn't quite work out. We're in 12th with 2 tires, Joey, and lefts at that. You come out with the lead, maybe.
Is it worth coming in just to take the lefts? I don't know how the tire wear is.
Just stay out on the right side, you're saying.
Well, the other thing you got to think about, too, when you come in and put lefts on, now you got a completely different balance of your race car. That I don't know which way it's going to go. I'm sure they don't either. So there's a little risk on that, too. So this will be a very interesting situation, but with 32 laps on your tires, 26 laps to go, I think if you got one set laying, put them on.
17 cars on the lead lap.
And this is what we call the money stop. This is where the pressure is on the pit crew to put their driver out front. We've seen the 98 have speed. We've seen the 7 have a lot of short run speed. If the 98 gets out front and gets control of this race, I'm not sure Justin Allgaier can pass him back.
It's what these athletes live for. They train all week for these moments on pit road, these pit crews. But the driver also has to do it. We saw A.J. Allmendinger pass his box earlier. See if everybody can hit their marks.
Sam Mayer pitting from 3rd. His crew pitted Kyle Busch, who won the truck race last night. Here they are, Regan.
Riley Herbst in the 98 was on the splitter early on, and that green flag stop fired off too loose, but it got better as he ran. The 7 at Justin Allgaier was loose previously during that last run. It stayed too loose with the rear, but now he has no front turn either, Josh.
For the 1 of Sam Mayer, fired off 3, but they got 3 numbers too tight towards the end of that run. And then for the 9 of Brandon Jones, his biggest issue out there on the track, 3 and 4, trying to correct that so they can make a play for the win.
Man, a whole lot going on there. Austin Hill did come down pit road. He took left side tires.
Coming out behind
He
Brandon
goes
Jones.
+9. Brandon Jones +3 wins the race off pit road. Allgaier goes back 2, and Mayer goes back 1 in that cycle.
You know who didn't pit Adam?
I'm going to tell you it's Parker Kligerman. Is that right?
That's right.
And I'm going to guess that's because they didn't have tires because they were out of sequence earlier, right?
I think they may be out of tires. And Riley Herbst's big loss there, -4 spots. Really, it's only 2 because the other guys took 2 tires. But either way, that's going to make it a lot tougher for him to get through the traffic as quickly as the others.
Allgaier's led 117 laps. He won both stages. And if he wins this thing, he's flat going to earn it. Hey, coming up next, top of the hour on FS1, a bitter rivalry is brewing in the Lone Star State. It's Corey Seager and the reigning champion Rangers getting Jose Altuve and the Astros. It all begins next on FS1, a battle in the AL West. Rangers got it in game 1 of the series last night. You know, if you go back, this is our 8th race of the year, and you look at the first 7. Boy, have we had some wild finishes in the Xfinity Series. Let's go week 2, Atlanta. Everybody running out of gas.
This one might have been the wildest finish of them all, where everyone ran out of gas. Poor Jesse Love, heartbreaker moment. Justin Allgaier has this race won. It's a heartbreaker.
Yeah, that was Phoenix.
That thing about came back and got him.
And then the bump and run, unfortunately for Van Gisbergen and Hill, it was Larson who drives through and wins at COTA for Hendrick Motorsports. First time that 17 had won on the Xfinity side for HMS. What will happen today? 4 of our 7 races this year have ended in overtime. 4 of the 7 have had the top spot change in the final 3 laps. So plenty of drama when it comes to 2024 in the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
And if you thought those restarts earlier in the race were intense, this is going to be very, very intense.
Let's listen to 7 radio. Allgaier shown 4th on track.
You know, I've been hard on you from time to time on your patience and managing temper, and I'm going to give you a compliment. You handled that very well.
I mean, it's obviously not ideal, right? But I can't change it, so we'll make the most of it, buddy.
Gonna go take what's ours right here.
Copy that.
11 times in his career, Allgaier has swept the stages. Only 2 times as he pulled into victory lane. We'll see if he can finish the deal today. What's happening down there, Regan? An update on the 98.
Yeah, and we saw a little bit of a slow stop there, lost a couple positions on pit road. Ultimately, the 98 car, you'll see right here, got angled in. He got angled in just a little bit too much. When the front tire changer and the jackman come around, it is going to throw the timing off completely on that pit stop because of the angle and how close he is to the wall there. And it's just that little amount can affect the stop.
Yeah, you see, he doesn't get the car jacked up high enough. That wall really doesn't allow the jackman to get a full stroke on that jack to be able to get the whole car up. Unfortunately, he's got to go for the second pump on the jack. That's a couple seconds.
He's still got a shot, though. Davin Restivo, that his crew chief on that 98, they have the speed. They get that splitter off the ground, like we heard the report earlier of the last run firing off. Obviously, we know we're not going as far. We can pump those tires up. We're not taking the time to add Packer. We can still add Packer in the Xfinity cars. We're slide the shims onto the shaft springs on the shock. But we have a shot. I'm not saying that we love where we're at here with the 98. But, you know, one person that I'm looking at is that one car, Sam Mayer. We talked about him earlier. Continues to cycle himself forward. Obviously, we know Parker Kligerman on the old tires. Not going to feel great on the start, especially when he gets to turn 1. We just need to get a good launch.
Hey, next week we're going to Talladega in the booth. Your teammates, Ryan Blaney, Daniel Suarez, going to be up here.
Switching it up. We'll see who does better here. Which teammates were a better group here.
Can we get a good booth poll like Gluck does?
Does he do that?
Oh, come on. Act like you don't know.
I actually did not see
man,
it,
the good race poll. We live by that. That's how we decide if races are good.
Okay, so having a good booth poll.
I think we should wait till drivers only to do that.
Well, we can get it going. Of
course you do. That's job security for you.
By the way, I'll be your stage manager.
Thank you.
In Charlotte, get your orders in early.
You're going to be my helper. Is what I'm going to do.
You know what I'm going to bring you? I'm going to bring you one of these.
I'll tell you what, I would appreciate that.
I know you would.
Very good.
All right, we've done the choose. Parker Kligerman on those much older tires has taken the inside lane. Brandon Jones to his outside. And we can't forget the 48 has one win in the history of the organization. Big machine getting it done right here at Texas 2 years ago, courtesy of 2-time champion Tyler Reddick.
Now this restart is going to be everything. 2 tires on the 9. I don't expect him to be the fastest with that. But if he's able to get clean air, it may overcome the tire disadvantage that he has.
Do you think the 48's able to wrap the bottom, hold the bottom lane down in turns 1 and 2?
If he's able to have a good enough restart to clear him, yes. I think if he's got a car on the outside, it could open up the door for Austin Hill to go 3-wide bottom off of 2.
21 to go at Texas.
It's a good start for Parker Kligerman. They're all packed on him, though.
Through the grass again. Austin Hill
got there.
Yep, got those left side tires, has some track position, looking for the lead is the 21. Brandon Jones hanging tough in that outside lane, and he is going to grab the top spot. How about that?
Justin Allgaier got very high off of turn 2, loses a ton of track position. Austin Hill getting high, losing a bunch of track position as well.
98 car clear into 3. Riley Herbst right there with Sam Mayer in that 1 car in second. This is Sam's opportunity. If he can keep that 98 car behind him, get by his teammate, as you see Cole Custard not being able to stay low enough, Sammy Smith inside of him.
Ryan Sieg looking for third, driving to the inside of Riley Herbst. What a day it's been for the 39.
And he's going to
clear him
here, yes.
Clear up.
5 times a driver has picked up their first career victory at Texas. Here comes the change for the lead. Sam Mayer on point. He goes by Brandon Jones, and Ryan Sieg is right there. Sieg is the driver I'm talking about, trying to get career win number 1.
Look at that 39 car change directions, Joey. Able to get to the left rear of the 1 car.
It's looking good. He's going to get a nice side draft into turn 3 here. He's going to try to clear him through the center of 3 and 4.
Sam puffed a little air on that right rear, able to stay outside of him, but not able to stay right on his right rear.
An incredible battle for the lead. Sam Mayer outside, Ryan Sieg inside. 18 laps to go at Texas.
He might get it done here, guys. That 39 car is flying.
All clear. Ryan Sieg on point. This is a remarkable rally late.
Coming back to 17 laps to go, guys. That was an amazing restart for the 39. Able to drive by powerhouse teams in the Xfinity Series.
And Allgaier is coming back after that rough ride on the restart. He's back in the top 5 and looking for more.
And that's another short run car. We've talked about Justin Allgaier's fire off speed. He needs to capitalize right now. He cannot waste time passing these cars. He has to do it as efficiently as possible. And the caution's out.
Got to spin down the front stretch. Car spinning everywhere, guys.
Of the day. 91 is Kyle Weatherman.
And I just talked about both these cars. 91, tweaker on the hood, Mario Gosselin's team, and Haley Deegan involved as well.
See Sheldon Creed there rolling away.
Got a replay here from a little ways away, distant view. See Kyle Weatherman already turned at the start finish line with Haley Deegan right behind him. Maybe a push gone wrong there in the dog leg.
Hard to say. A lot of contact to the 91.
You have cars back here, Joey. I'm not sure how this went. Oh, we see contact with Sheldon Creed.
Sheldon Creed is rolling through there, hitting the grass.
Haley
just
an innocent bystander. I spoke too soon there.
Hard to say exactly how that started.
Yeah, you got, like I was going to say, you have cars back here that there was wave arounds. We had a lot of mixed up strategy with that caution coming out at the end of the last run after the green flag cycle. Flat tire on the 18 here. Looks like he'll be able to keep going though.
Sheldon Creed, one of those dash for cash drivers, so a tough situation for him late in this race. Same for his teammate Chandler Smith, who's 17th. It looks like it's going to be one of those junior motorsport Chevys that takes home the cash today. Mayer's second, Allgaier's 5th. Going to be inside of 15 laps to go when we get the restart. Had a whole lot going on this afternoon at Texas. Jesse Love starts on the pole. One of his young friends, full-time in the Truck Series, Taylor Gray, with an incredible save off of turn 2.
Teammates getting really close together here. Josh Williams packing air on Daniel Dye. Goes around, holds the brake at the right time, lets off the brake as Justin Allgaier wins stage 1 and stage 2.
Allgaier's led 117 laps today. Jeb Burton had a strong car, got into the wall. He's 3 laps down in 36th. And under caution right now for the 7th time today. See the damage for Weatherman. Haley Deegan trying to hang on to it there.
Good job by the next half dozen cars there just to slow down. Don't do anything crazy. They're wrecking. You can't do anything about it. Just try to slow down, which is really hard with these Xfinity cars, the truck arms. You get a lot of wheel hop if you're not careful with the downshifts.
Right. And what a restart, though, by everybody up towards the front. But Ryan Sieg in a smaller team able to get themselves to the lead, passing these powerhouse teams, put themselves in position. We talked about the other cars that are right there. The cream has risen to the top at this point. You look at the 7, the 9, the 98, the 1. Those were the best cars of the day. The 39 kind of came out of nowhere. He was kind of back half of the top 5, sometimes maybe 7th or 8th most of the time. Big restart at the end of the race, puts himself in position to win this thing.
Restart, yes, it was good. He just drove by them. They were under green, turned left under the 1 car. That does not happen at this level of our sport. The Sieg family has been in this so long. With his younger brother also out there, a real opportunity. Obviously, Ryan's trying to go through his head right now, think through his 341 career starts, right? Finishing second, I was in that race at Iowa in the 4 car, just a few positions behind him when
William
he ran
Byron
second.
won, right? I think it was William Byron who won that race.
Maybe? I'm not sure. I'll be honest.
How do you not know that with all the stats you've given us today?
William wins a lot, guys. I'm more comfortable mid-pack, okay? So I never paid attention to who was winning those races, but I remember Ryan Sieg running second.
By the way, as you said there, today career start number 342 for Ryan Sieg. The record for career starts before you get your first win, Jeremy Clements at 256.
And it's going to take all those starts. The problem is he hasn't been in this position, Joey. You've done this. You're warming your tires. You know what you're looking for in the tire warming, what gear you want to be in under caution. You're cooling your motor down. These Xfinity cars, they run as much tape as they can. They're trying to get the water temperature down so they have the most power on the start. Not the case with our Cup cars now. Ryan's never been up here to do this in any regular form.
And that's where he has a bit of a disadvantage, because racing for 10th, racing for 5th, racing for the lead, racing for 20th are all completely different. The tools that you need to have in your toolbox to be able to execute passing cars, restarts, all of it. Strategy is all completely different depending on the speed you have in your car and where you typically race. He doesn't have as many tools in his toolbox right now, quite frankly, and he's going to learn a lot very quickly, and he's been doing it long enough to have enough experience to probably watch enough and seen enough to put it all into play. But this is going to be a big challenge for Ryan Sieg to pull this one off. He very well can. I'm not saying he's out by no means, but he's going against drivers that race in this position, late race restarts, racing for the lead every single week.
You know what he does have, though? He has Tim Fiedel on the roof. Guy, he's going to know how to coach him. He's going to know how to get him calmed down, talk him through. I'm sure they're talking on the radio right now. And Matt Noyes, longtime crew chief in the sport, spent some time as more of a I'm not sure exactly the role, but at SHR on these Xfinity cars, the 9800 working there in the last several years. Now over on the box, calling the shots, obviously bringing speed to that 39 car. It's making a difference.
We got a great finish coming here. And when I think of late rallies and magical moments in the history of NASCAR, I think about Ross at Martinsville. We had to do it. The Hail Melon.
Hey, it worked. I thought about it off turn 4 when I saw the white flag. I checked with Brandon McReynolds, Phil Surgeon. They said, yeah. I don't know why I did it, Joey.
I know why you did it. You got to the championship 4. I know why you did it.
Maybe your nickname.
And you're freaking crazy, bud.
Maybe your nickname should be the Outlaw, because we can't do that anymore, you know?
I still don't believe that's the first you thought of it.
It was.
You didn't think about this for years when you were playing video games. Like, man, I can run the wall.
8, I don't know.
And then it all came back to you.
He wasn't playing video games. He was out picking watermelons, right? I mean,
I was playing video games with Kevin Harvick on the cover, so that tells you anything.
All I was thinking about in Phoenix the next week was how far back is Ross, and is he going to do this into the last corner? And I knew you were going to do it again. If it worked once, you're going to do it a second time.
Well, your teammate, the 12, had already blocked me to keep me back there, and then I knew he would just block me again if I did it on the wall. And then we go a year later, I block him, but then it's a bigger deal.
Let's look at first-time winners here at Texas Motor Speedway. 5 times as the driver picked up their first career win here. I'd say it's the who's who. Dale Jr., 98. Kurt Busch in his first start did it, 2006. Of course, at that point, he was already running in Cup. Trevor Bayne, 2011. Chase Elliott beat a host of superstars when he won here for Junior Motorsports in 2014, and Eric Jones did it 1 year later as a part-timer. And I remember when he won that race, Eric Jones, Jeff Gordon was in the booth with us calling the race on FS1, so that was a cool moment.
Man, that's do you think Dale had the beard in '98?
They didn't give him the young pitcher. No, they didn't do that like they did everybody else.
We'll have to work on that. Somebody on Twitter can find that, I'm sure.
Going to be 11 to go. Sieg, Mayer on the front row. Row 2, Herbst and Jones, and Allgaier, who has dominated this race, restarts in row 3. Here we go, one more time at Texas.
Really good formation on the bottom. The 98 car pushing that 39. Another Ford almost clear into turn 1. Ryan Sieg is with Sam Mayer hanging on his right here. He's clear.
Clean air is everything. Ryan Sieg back to the lead.
Now he's got to run. He's got the 2 second and third place battling each other. He's got to run as fast as he can because these 2 cars behind him do have a lot of speed, and you hear him pedaling a lot next to each other. You know Ryan Sieg's on the loud pedal.
Tim Fita with his spotter probably telling him, just look out the front. They are side by side in your mirror racing. Just hit your marks. Do not overdrive. Wrap that bottom. Don't play with the outside until they get a little closer. He's driving away.
You see right there, Justin Allgaier, A.J. Allmendinger right behind him.
Car in the wall, 31. Parker Retzloff off turn 2, guys.
As of now, we stay green. Going to be 9 laps to go this time around. Sieg pulling away. Problems for the 98. Mayer is through. Allmendinger and Allgaier get through. And now contact. Brandon Jones sideways.
And you see a left front fender rub. I'm sure that just happened, but I'm not sure what was going wrong with the 98 before that.
Sieg is saying, just get those cars back to pit road. I don't need a caution. His advantage, 1.3 seconds with what will be 8 laps remaining.
Riley Herbst going to get put 3 wide, 4 wide for a moment. 3 and 4 as Brandon Jones gets up out of the groove. They sorted out the Riley Herbst off the pace. More contact with the 2 car down the front stretch.
And there you see what's happening back behind the race leaders. Allgaier up to 3rd. He's 2 seconds behind Ryan Sieg.
And I don't think that's enough time for the 7 of Justin Allgaier to pass Sam Mayer and run down Ryan Sieg and pass him. Right now, Ryan Sieg is laying down some lap times. He is driving away.
7 laps to go.
Only gave up a half a tenth that lap, Joey. 600ths to Sam Mayer. That is plenty. We've got a 1.25 second gap. We can give up 1/10 of a second every lap. Just keep it in line. Stay under the limit of the tire. Coming back to 6 to go.
Saw Riley Herbst had to make a pit stop. Had a great day, but unfortunately not going to be able to finish it off. Advantage down to just over a second for Ryan Sieg.
You see, he gave up another half a tenth. Nothing really too much to worry about right there. And you see Sam Mayer, he's trying any line he can. Where is the speed? I only have 6 laps to go. I have to find speed right now to reel him in that much distance. And coming to 5 to go.
As we look back further in the field, guys, into turn 3, Parker Kligerman, he didn't pit, was out of tires after that incident earlier. Really slow off turn 2 that last lap. He stays on track, though.
How do you think Ryan Sieg is feeling in there? I know before one of my first big wins, I get inside the car. I feel like I'm shaking a little bit. Like you're nervous. You're waiting for something to happen. You know what you're right on the edge of doing. Coming to 4 to go. You're giving up a little bit of time. You see him in the mirror. You're pushing as hard as you can. The intensity is huge. He's raced for 12 seasons looking for his first win. 12 years in the making for this moment right now.
This is a family-owned team based in Tucker, Georgia. They had never won despite all their hard work until last summer. Eric Almirola came over, drove for them at Sonoma, went out and got the checkered flag. But what it would mean for this group if Ryan, who's put so much time and effort in, could deliver a trophy to his dad Rod and everyone who has worked so hard, it would be incredible. 3 to go. Ryan Sieg leading at Texas.
We gave up another 10th that lap, so it's definitely closing up.
Yes, he's shaking, Joey. Yes, he's shaking. Yes, he's thinking about everything that can go wrong, but he's a race car driver. what he does as a default to everything is drive the car on the gas, turning the wheel. He's running the second lane, second and a half, really. He thinks that's what's best. As we come off turn 4, 2 laps to go, as we see Matt Noyce on his pit box.
Ryan Sieg, 36 years old. He's married. He's got 3 girls at home. I'm sure they're off the couch right now. Just wants to see that white flag and then try to finish the deal. But Sam Mayer is rallying. Only 0.3 of a second back.
Guys, it's going to be tight. This one's not over yet. He's running that high lane, giving Sam Mayer the air on the bottom. Sam was able to gain a ton of time through 1 and 2 last time.
White flag is out. 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. Ryan Sieg is leading Sam Mayer. Mayer looking high off of turn 2.
Sam's going to get a big run off of turn 2 here. He's going to pull underneath him.
Huge rally for Sam Mayer. Near contact down the back straightaway. Final lap. Mayer going to make the pass. Can Sieg get back by him? Here they are off of turn 4. Sieg and Mayer going at it at Texas. Back to the start-finish line. This one is going to be tight. Who got it done? Photo finish. What a thriller. Mayer and Sieg.
All good. The scoring sheet shows us we have it by .002. Just stand by. Hold it up there.
What an incredible finish. Back and forth. Sam Mayer and Ryan Sieg. And here they are at the line.
Oh my gosh, this is one of the closest finishes I've ever seen.
Sam Mayer, the 1 car, Carolina Carports gets the win.
Inches.
1 inch.
Still not official.
Oh man, it's so close. And you feel for Ryan Sieg. He was able to. Sam did such a good job getting off the turn 2, getting that run to pull underneath. Underneath Ryan into the corner, and he overshot it in the 3, and they crossed the back. Just incredible.
The finish is under review. The finish is still under review.
Officially, the winner of this race, the 1 car of Sam Mayer over the 39 of Ryan Sieg, Adam.
Sam Mayer, final lap, makes the rally. Sieg didn't give up. But in a photo finish, it's Sam Mayer who wins for the first time this season.
And this is the run I was talking about. Sam did a good job getting up a little higher, getting a run. Ryan Sieg, we said he fired off good, not so much on the long haul. The 1 over sends it in there, gets it a loose stuff. Ryan turns back underneath him for a
big
drag
time
race.
Loose here by the 39. They hit.
Oh my goodness.
The 1 car actually has a flat tire here. Goes down in turn 1, hits the wall. He has 2 flat right side tires now.
Shades of Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Cup cars. Sam Mayer by inches. It's the 2nd closest finish in series history. And heartbreak for Ryan Sieg, who was that close to career win number 1.
We saw Sam earlier this season get out after a wreck a couple of weeks in a row and just put his hands up. He's like, what am I doing? How does this keep happening? Now he stands on the roof as a winner this year.
DNFs in 3 of the first 4 races this season for Mayer. Finished 30th a couple of weeks ago at Richmond after that contact on pit road. But today, they didn't give up, and he wins the race. And oh, by the way, $100,000 via the Dash for Cash.
I don't think he's even thought about the 100 grand yet, because he's thinking about how close that was. And there's no win that feels better than the close ones. The ones that are that tight of winning, it's just unbelievable emotions. And you said it, a tough season to start so far. One of the roughest seasons I think that team's ever experienced to start. And here's the disbelief of being that close, leading, taking the white and not being able to get to the checkered.
It's heartbreak for me. Seeing that family team, knowing what Rod puts in, his family, the entire business there, and with SciAps on the hood, it's just heartbreak for Ryan. All the years they put in to be that close, but if they keep bringing cars like that, Joey, that's what you have to do to win in NASCAR. Keep putting yourself in position. Josh, what do you have?
Margin of victory for Sam Mayer here at Texas. .002, and you're the Dash for Cash winner as well. $100,000 to the team. Talk to me about that final lap and what this win meant.
That's absolutely unreal. This Carolina Corporate Chevrolet was certainly as fast as Xfinity Internet, but this team, the amount of adversity we had to fight this entire year so far, and to come to a mile and a half that I want to say I'm good at, but it took a lot. It took every ounce of me to do that today, but so proud of my team. Marty on top of the box, Kevin on top of the roof. He might have won that race because he told me bottom of 3 and 4 was better, so props to him.
Your Texas winner and your Dash for Cash winner, Sam Mayer.